Hello, everyone, and welcome to NATO's 2010. My name is Deborah Barbaret, and I am the Soundtree's Southwest, excuse me, who am I? Soundtree's West Coast rep. The title of this session is Composing and Arranging with Finale, and we're very lucky to have Tom Rudolph as our presenter for us today. Tom is not a stranger to anyone, I don't think. He is currently the Director of Music and Middle School Classroom and Instrumental Music Instruction for the School District of Haverford Township in Haverford, PA. He is also an adjunct assistant professor at the University of the Arts. Dr. Rudolph is one of the seminal people in music education and technology. He began his work as a clinician and a workshop leader in the field in 1982. He has authored 11 books, including Sibelius, A Comprehensive Guide to Sibelius Notation, Teaching Music with Technology, currently in its third printing, Finale, An Easy Guide to Music Notation, Recording in the Digital World, Finding Funds for Music Technology, and he was one of the 4 co-authors of the Time publication, Technology Strategies for Music Education. Rudolph is the co-author of the Alfred Music Tech series, which includes playing keyboard, music production, and MIDI sequencing, and composing with notation software. He has published more than 30 articles on music technology that have appeared in the Music Educators Journal, Music Education Technology Magazine, The Instrumentalist, Jazz Educators Journal, and Downbeat Magazine. In 1995, Tom was one of the founders of the Technology Institute for Music Education, TIME, Time, and is now serving, well, you're not serving as president anymore, are you, Tom?
Yeah, no, not anymore. Past president.
Okay. Well, we're handing it off to you, darling. There you go.
Brad, am I live control now?
Yep, just catching up. Yeah, hold on one second.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just going to go ahead, Brad, okay?
Sounds good.
Pardon our glitches, everyone. But before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little about Soundtree. For those of you who are not familiar with Soundtree, we specialize in turnkey learning system for music educators. We are your one-stop resource for purchasing technology for your music classroom, whether it is one piece of software, a microphone, or a state-of-the-art music tech lab or digital recording studio. In addition to the events like today, we provide 3 webinars, monthly email newsletters, lesson plans, articles, and more. And I urge you to check out our website at www.soundtree.com, become a friend on Facebook, and sign up for our email newsletter. We are teacher-focused, and one of our core missions is to help music educators integrate technology into their curricula with lifetime free technical support and free online professional development opportunities like today. About the session today, there are 3 things that are important to remember. 1, all of your phone lines are muted. If you have a question, please save it until the end of the presentation and click the raise your hand icon at the bottom of the participant window. You are registered for this session only during this hour, and unfortunately we cannot permit you to jump sessions and join another session during the time period. At the conclusion of this session, you will need to quit the Meeting Center tool and click on the appropriate link for the next session in the email you receive. Lastly, all sessions are being recorded today, and an archive recording will be available at www.mitosonline.com on October 25th. And another exciting thing that is happening throughout the day is the live blog coverage of the events and our Twitter integration. The link displayed here will feature live commentary from a team of bloggers. If you would like to join the conversation, please make a note of the link. Is there a slide, Brad, with the link? There we go. The conversation will be made available on the Mitos homepage after the event. For those of you who are on Twitter, here are the hashtags for the event today. So, lastly, before we get started, we want to thank all of our corporate sponsors, professional affiliates, and presenters who have made today's event possible. We hope you will take some time today to visit their respective websites. We could not have done this without their support. And so, without further ado, please welcome Tom Rudolph.
Thanks, Deborah.
Welcome.
Brad, you're still on, right?
Yep, and you're all set to go.
Okay. Are you going to bring my slides up, or do I need to do something for that?
Your slides are already up. You just need to click on the Finale link at the top. There's two Meadows, and then yours is to the right of that.
Got it. Okay, so we're on, Brad? Everybody's hearing me, Brad? As well
Yeah,
as you can
looks great.
Great. Okay, folks, this session is entitled Composing with Finale 2011. The overview that I'm going to use is that I'm sure some of you have used earlier versions of Finale. Things have changed in the last several years, and I'm going to try to show you those, and also focus on the things that I use as a composer or arranger, and also things that you can use with your students to help them create their scores. So first, in the area of copy and paste and moving octaves. When I'm working on a score, and I'm working on an arrangement, or with a student on an arrangement, the thing that I try to do is spend most of my time on a part that I can then copy and paste. You'll notice under contextual menus, Finale since 2007 has used contextual menus, meaning that you right-click your mouse. They are contextual menus that are specific to certain tools. You do need to be aware what tool you're in order to use the contextual menus properly. If you don't have a two-button mouse, Mac users, I highly recommend that you purchase one, two-button mouse. If you're on a one-button Mac, you can control-click to get those contextual menus. I'm using them more and more in my work with Finale. So the first demonstration I'm going to show you is in a score that I've started that has a melody, and I'm going to use the filter. Finale adopted the word filter 2 versions ago. They used to call it items to copy, and they have followed the lead of Sibelius in using the word filter and edit filter. And the problem with Finale is if you just use the whole filter and you copy and paste, you will often either delete or remove letter numbers, rehearsal numbers, markings, text markings. So using the filters are very important. And then I'm going to show you the shortcut, which has been in Finale for ages, and that is to select a passage, hold down the Control key on Windows all by itself, or the Option key on Mac, and click in the desired location. So let me start with that, showing you that copy and paste. I'm going to share my desktop with you, and now we're in Finale, and I'm going to bring up an example that I created. This is a round and an excellent little lesson if you're doing composing with your kids. What I often do for my students with composing, arranging, and for lessons that I've written is I create a file that has it partially completed. Rounds are great for kids to compose at middle school, high school level, because it doesn't take a lot of harmonic need. So this is my little lesson plan. Notice that I put in some expressions. I put in A and B. I put in the double bar lines. And if I don't use the filter, watch what happens. If you haven't been using Finale in the last 3 versions since 2008. Right here is the selection tool. I rarely use the mouse. I press Escape, and Escape, once I press it, the tool is selected. So first thing I want to do is I want to copy this trumpet part into letter A because it repeats. So I'm selecting the part. I can use Command-C, Command-V to copy and paste, but let's use the shortcut command and watch what happens. I'm holding down Control on Windows, Command on Mac, and I'm clicking in the letter A bar. And did you notice what disappeared? Because everything was copied, it wiped out my letter numbers, my rehearsal numbers, and text. So that's the reason to use the filter. 2 ways to get the filter before you copy. Go to Edit, Edit Filter, or if you're getting into the right-click anywhere on the screen, and you can choose Edit Filter from there. Now, in the Edit Filter, the fastest way is to click None, and then go back over what you need. Typically, you're only copying notes and rest. So I'm selecting notes and rest. Nothing else of these markings will be copied. That also means that things won't be replaced over top of the ones that are there. Remember what's in the filter, because Finale remembers this. Click OK, And even when you shut the program down on your computer and bring it back, those settings will be retained, and sometimes you'll wonder why things are not copying. For example, sometimes I copy just the articulations, and then I forget that I had that turned on. So now I'm using the shortcut, Option-click, and notice the A and B didn't move. I'm also using a shortcut in Finale that's been around for a while, maybe 3 or 4 versions. You don't need to change tools to page up and down anymore. If you're on Windows, you right-click, just the right-click button, and drag. On Mac, I'm holding down Option and Command, and I'm pulling the screen down. It's the same as going to the hand grabber, but you never have to leave tools. And as you notice, my selection didn't change. So I don't have to reselect. I'm going to copy it into the trombone part. Now, as I like to say, my middle school kids look at that, and they have cardiac arrest looking at those rests. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is transpose that octave. So I'm going to select, I'm using click and shift click. Select the first bar, hold down click, and shift. You would probably use transpose if you've been in Finale, but there are now shortcuts, and I am across the top of my screen. First of all, make sure that the selection tool is selected. Again, I press escape, sometimes multiple times. The most is 3 times to get it selected. Use your eyes to make sure it's there. And now there are these numbers, and this is on the next slide, which I'll show you. If you press the number 8, it goes down an octave. Press 8 again, down another octave. Press 9, goes up an octave. Press 9, up an octave again. So it's already set that you are be able to use these. These are what are called meta tools. It's a meta tool that is connected to the selection tool and a quick way to transpose. Now, I have the trombone in the right spot. Now I'm going to option click because that selection is there. Option click on Mac, control click on Windows, and I copied the tuba. And again, the tuba players are wondering what all those notes are because they've never seen those before. So I'm selecting it. Now I'm pressing the number 8 to take it down an octave. There are times when you want to use the actual transpose option. And when you want to use that is if you wanted to do a chromatic transposition, or if you want to do what I'd like to do here is I'd like to add octaves. Often in my warm-ups for band and when I'm scoring, I'd like to add octaves. And this time I'm going to right-click, control-click with a 1-button mouse. And this time I'm going to select transpose. Now, transpose is also in the utilities menu. The thing I like about using the right-click contextual menus is you're right in the score. You're clicking on what you see, and just a little bit faster. So I'm clicking transpose, and you'll notice there's a button here. By default, it's turned off. Preserve original notes, and select your direction, diatonically or chromatic, and select your octave, and click OK. Automatically create your octaves below the screen. So copy and paste is a fast way to get things together. I've quickly created a score. It plays it'll play back, and the octaves are created for the convenience of the player. Okay, I'm going to go back to the slide, review a little bit what I just showed. Using the filter, be sure to use your filter so that you know what you're copying. Typically just notes when I don't want to wipe out text items. Use the selection tool. Use your right click. And copy and paste using the control key on Windows and option key on Mac. Here are the shortcuts for the meta tools. 6 and 7 also take you up diatonically, and 7 takes you down diatonically. That's a really nice opportunity for kids to learn stepwise motion or to create to give you something for a composition. So let me go back and show you my desktop. And let's go back here. And if I select a bar or bars, and now if I press the number 6, it's going down by steps, 7 up by steps. So creating a section where you would like to move diatonically, that's also an option. Okay, back to the slides.